I hope y'all are having a great day. Today I'm inviting you to my kitchen, and I love being in my home and my kitchen. And I used to think that everything had to be perfect. But look, here, look at my surroundings. This is where I sit in my Fairfield chair, in my little gathering space, in my kitchen. I have books that I read, my Bible's here, quiet times are here. Over here, and all this pile of stuff, games that the kids and we play. Aiden and I decided this year that we're going to be pen pals, or I kind of decided for Aiden. Notes that I write to her. She's a long distance grandchild. I want to make sure that she knows who I am. You can never tell what might happen because we might have an indoor snowball fight. So, I'm kind of a little bit crazy. My younger years, I used to, like I say, think that everything had to be perfect and my stuff was not as good as somebody else's. But that is just a lie that Satan wants to tell you. And enjoy your home. Don't worry about perfection. My cooking is not perfection. My home is not perfection. Some of my plants, they are not perfection. That's my grandmother's Christmas cactus, a little piece of that. Surround yourself by things that you love. I have rocks that have special meaning, daring faith, places that we've been together, and always remembering that with God, all things are possible. So, I invite you to my kitchen today. You're going to get to know me a little bit better. How are y'all doing again? We're going to be cooking something quick and easy for y'all. I'm making something tonight for one of my sweet neighbors that's coming home from the hospital today. And I want to show you how simple this can be. Everybody loves potato soup when they're sick. But, peeling all those potatoes and getting all that together, sometimes it's kind of hard. So, you can buy some shredded potatoes like for hash brown potatoes, but don't brown them. You can use chicken broth, in a thing like this. Or I like to save my broth when I cook a chicken because, it's just richer and so much better. I like to add just a few little carrots for some interesting color in my potato soup. And, of course, the Velveeta. And milk or cream to give it that luscious, wonderful, delicious texture. So I already started part of a pot here. You can see how it's cooked down. And then you can use a potato masher to give you the texture that you like. I need that potato masher. All my prep stuff I try to keep in this drawer. My baking things like my spatulas and things like that I try to keep in this drawer. My measuring cups, although I have some special measuring cups I'm going to show you over here in just a minute. I like to purchase things when I'm out of town that I use on a daily basis so that I remember my trips and the different places that I've been. This drawer over here I like to keep like spatulas and things that have to do with things that I might be cooking over here on my stove. Y'all, these are two of my favorite tools. This little tiny spatula is perfect for cookies and all kinds of little things. Years ago, I got this really neat little thing at a cook's place, and instead of a whisk, this is the perfect whisk. It has these little balls on the end, and I can just whip up all kinds of stuff. So that is really important. All your tools are very, very important. So you want to just take your potato masher and just take all those things and go to mashing so that you've got that little touch of color with your carrot in there. But I'm going to probably double this recipe so that I have plenty for the neighbors and plenty for Jim tonight, bless his heart. On occasion he gets something to eat. I have a sweet friend, Lauren Patterson, and I just loved her husband Sam. He was such a character. She was always fixing and doing something for somebody else, and he'd look at it and say, well, I know that's not for me. Well, that's kind of the way sometimes Jim is, because it's like, I know that cake's not for me, or I know that pie's not for me. You're making that for somebody else, so don't be like me. Don't neglect your family and your husband. He's the only one you got. So you can see that I've mashed up that carrot, and then you've got a really neat consistency of that soup. I'm gonna add to my batch here. All you gotta do is just put that chicken broth in here. I'm gonna spice it up a notch. I love my gas stove. When Robin Waldrop, oh, my dear friend Robin, when she came up with the way to redo my kitchen, y'all, it has made all the difference in my life. I love my kitchen. You cannot imagine how different my kitchen is from how it used to be. So I'm going to put that whole bag of these hashed brown potatoes, because it cooks super quick. I don't want to make a big mess and a big flop. So there we go. I'd already added enough carrots, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of how simple this recipe is and how delicious it really is. So all this has got to cook. Those potatoes have to soften. I'll get my potato masher out of there. But you can see the consistency of it right now, and the consistency that we had prior to mashing those potatoes. But y'all, I apologize. I'm not a real good measure. I will do some things in recipes that you measure, but I just do some things to taste too. I love using sea salt, you know, taking just a little bit, sprinkle it in by hand, put the lid on it, and let it cook. Let me tell you about my pot here. That, years and years ago, I taught nursing school over at ICC, Etowah Community College, back in the day. And there was a salesman that was coming through selling some nicer cookware, and it was pretty expensive. But I bought this cookware when I was 22 years old, and I'm 62. And at the time, I thought it was really expensive. But let me tell you, this stuff has held up. I've got the Teflon and some of the other products. I've got the Dutch oven and things. This stuff is what I just go back to. I love it. Some people, you know, used to have the Salad Master stuff. Loved it. Great product there that my mom had for years and still does have. But you know, your tools are really important. Wooden spoons. Mary Frances, I love this. They go to the Neshoba County Fair every year. And there is a gentleman down there that makes wooden spoons, and she buys some of those for me. These are really cool. This is persimmon wood. But some of the spoons that he had, and I had bought some, were made out of wood from the Tupelo tornado that we had back years ago, and I thought that was such a cool thing. So I've got some of those spoons too, but you know, some of those things that have the stories and the memories, like when you're cooking, it just makes you feel good to use some of those things. So we'll take a break and let this cook a little bit, and we'll come back and I'll show you what we're going to add up at the last minute to make that soup just perfect for your family. Okay, so while that pot is cooking over here, we cooked for just a little bit. I took the Velveeta, and you just do it to taste. You know, whatever you like. Some people like a lot of cheese. Some people don't like any cheese. Some people like just a medium amount of cheese. You know, my cheese dip eating family, they like it. So then, you know, after you cut it up, start stirring it in your soup. You know, you're gonna let it melt, but you wanna be careful to keep it stirred up because it will stick on the bottom if you're not careful and keep it stirred. So just adding that little bit of Velveeta. That's all you have to do to make this yummy little pot of soup. So I'm turning that back, you know, a little bit, putting the lid on. So the last thing that you need to add in your potato soup is just a little bit of heavy cream. You can use milk, you know, if you don't want to have a heart attack. But this is just that lusciousness that creates that texture that everybody loves in a creamy soup. So you've added your salt and your pepper. Really, that's all that's needed with your Velveeta and your broth. So you just let it finish cooking, the cheese melt, and there you have a simple, easy, quick potato soup that you could probably make in 30 minutes or less. Families love it, kids love it. Put a little sandwich with it and you have an easy winter's night treat. Or take it to somebody who's not feeling well, because there's nothing like some yummy potato soup to make them feel better. So show them the love.